where does the government need to step in and regulate if the market's not working? So that's a question I'm interested to hear your view on. And where can the government, as well as being the policeman and stopping some things happen, where can it also be the Kickstarter and the promoter and the positive? So what's the negative role and the positive role for government in all of this?
I mean, we know that there's been a pushback on regulation and companies complaining that this is kind of unfair competition in comparison to some of the countries that might not do it. However, what we hear from customers is that those environmental considerations, social considerations matter to them. And when we see a scandal rising, then you can see how the brand is damaged. I mean, I remember back in the 90s, Nike involved in child labor. I think it took them about 10 years to fully recover from that. So clearly one needs to be mindful about not, embracing regulation that is really trying to go in the right direction. What I think is interesting, for example, going back to Trump, you might know in the US that there was the small packages were exempt from tariffs. So you were seeing all those very small packages or packages for low value coming from China, for example, and invading Europe as well with for example quite low cost and also not very environmental friendly products. And by putting some tariffs, then maybe we can put a bit more playing field between some of those great companies that actually have products where they care about society and environment and those that were not really. So I think we quite pro regulation. I think what's important is to give enough time for the whole industry to adjust. And it's interesting, maybe we could make an analogy around, I think, the evolution towards EV. And giving until 2030 or 2035 for the whole industry to adapt. I think this is we need the vision from governments and not think about when the next election